here by what campaign promises did you promise that have now turned false? Ward, we'll start with you.
Okay, well, I actually just looked at these charges. I hate to admit it, but about an hour before I came to the meeting tonight, and I dug out this little campaign poster that I still had at home, and it was my campaign promises, and the one at the very top was listen to the will of the people. I know I've done that. I guess those that feel the personnel issue that I didn't handle that the way that they would have liked, that I didn't listen to the will of the people. But, you know, again, the reason that I ran for council was because the will of the people was not honored in terms of the River District project and putting it to a vote. Maintain our hometown atmosphere. I've always taken a lot of pride in this town, and I have done everything I can to help maintain that atmosphere and plan to continue doing so. Stop increasing taxes and fees. It's well documented in the minutes that this council has made every effort to do that at every opportunity and will continue to do so. Protect and serve our citizens. I actually supported the full $1.79 levy. Even though that was a controversial thing to do, I support our public safety department, and I think they do a great job, and I did support the levy at the full amount. Even though there's information to the contrary that's been out there, I wholeheartedly supported the levy in public safety. Work together to restore trust. That's sadly what was lacking in this personnel issue, and that's what caused this so-called crisis. Think independently. This council has voted differently on almost every subject that's come up. There's no voting block here. We have voted differently, and we do think independently. No ties to special interests. That's why we're in trouble right now. Positive priorities, people first. Absolutely. I believe that all the way, and I'm working towards that, and will continue to do so if the voters choose for me to continue to serve. Thank you.
A lot of people say things during campaigns, that's for sure. Rob, the charge here, misleading voters with false campaign promises.
Well, once again, I kind of wish that the people who made those accusations were here to really clarify what they mean, but I actually went back and I looked at the voters pamphlet and what I had written in there, and you know, I've got 6 or 8 different items here. I believe that I'm either working on or have worked on or plan to work on virtually all of them, and I don't think that I've taken any of them in a different direction. I know that we have, for instance, I think in the next couple of weeks on our council agenda, information on performance audits coming, and of course that's to make sure that programs are economic, efficient, and effective, to find out which ones are working well and to possibly fix those that need work. But I know we've got that coming up on our agenda. I know that we've got the issue of well, all different aspects of growth. I've mentioned about growth needing to be well managed. The council has been doing nothing but looking at things along that nature. I've got adequate funding for arrest, prosecution, incarceration of criminals. I was in the voters pamphlet as supporting the $1.79 levy, and that was the position I took the night of the vote on February 11th. That was the position I took in the voters pamphlet as well. I also stressed that I felt it was very important, accountability, economy, ethics, and transparency. And I know that my political opponents would like to think that transparency is an issue that they have a monopoly on. I actually believe that transparency is where this council has gone. There has been no time when I have ever met with a quorum outside of council chambers. I've never had a telephone conference outside of with a quorum outside of council chambers. There's never been a rapid fire or email chat room outside of council chambers with a quorum. I believe the public has seen what we've done. Thank you.
Okay, again, we'll go down to Mark Towns, and again, misleading voters with false campaign promises.
You know, I'd like to combine this one with another charge that I have, so I can either do them both now. Well, because they really, they really do combine themselves. So. Okay. First of all, my main campaign promises was to watch your money, because this is your money that we're spending, and that was my main promise. And I have always, from the very beginning, stated my belief on this is why it combines with another question, my belief on the safety levy. I supported the levy, but I didn't support the amount. Now that has been continuous from the very day to today. I've stated that from the very beginning. There hasn't been one council member, including myself, that ever proposed one budgetary cut to the safety budget of the city of Grants Pass. In fact, quite the opposite. We guaranteed as much as we could after the levy passed. For sure we could guarantee it, but we guaranteed a full levy. Now, I did criticize the way the staff was going around and representing the levy during the campaign. Okay, absolutely. And I'll stand behind that too. And by the way, the state has got a 14-point right now investigation on those very charges. Nothing I turned in. I've never turned anything in on anybody. But they're currently under investigation for those very issues at this current time right now. So there was myself and a few other councilors that were concerned about that. And we made our thoughts known, and everybody took that as if we were against the safety levy. We were just against the way it was being represented by the staff. So I guess at the end of the day, there's one other statement I'd like to make. During our budget process, which I felt from the very beginning, there was enough money saved or enough money cut from the budget that we actually could have brought forward $1.49 or less. In other words, the same levy that we previously had, which would have fit my schedule, and we would have been fine. So in other words, there was enough money left to actually have the budget that I had originally felt we should have had.
Certainly one of the issues that voters are going to have to face is the charge of misleading voters with false campaign promises, is that a recallable offense? Those are the questions that really I think the voters will ultimately have to say. This next question is going to go to Bill Kangas. And Bill, on the petition, you're the only one listed for this particular question, so I'll give it to you, and you might, again, be specific with us if you would in terms of what this is about. But you're charged here requesting an executive officer of the city to violate an employee's constitutional First Amendment rights.
Okay.
Again, would you be more specific with us on that?
Yeah, I believe that came out of the first meeting I went to and met with David Fraser, and I took Mark Towns with me and asked, at that time, asked David to, if he'd be willing to resign. And out of that meeting, somehow, I don't know where it came from, it was said that I was totally, that I had asked him to talk to an employee and you know, and tell him not to say something. I have no idea.
You don't know what?
I don't know exactly what was said, but I never said that. I never have, and I never will. I've been on the council 2.5 years, and one thing, if you go back and read the minutes, of what I have to say is always about the people. I've been to over 1,500 homes listening to people, and I will never change that. So I don't know where that charge came from. I did not make it. There was another person at the meeting who could verify that. It's something that's not out of my character. I want to hear the people. That's what I ran on my campaign, was the people. And this is what it's about. The people are our bosses. And whatever the people decide is what's going to happen here, that's fine. That's the people's right and their right to vote. And I would never infringe or ask anybody to stop that right at all. People all need to talk. So, and whatever they say, I want to hear both sides, whether it's an argument for me or against me, because I want to know what I'm doing wrong, because I'll change. So and the witness here, if I could, we could ask Mark. He was at the meeting.
Well, I wish we were at the.
I'd like to comment.
Want to comment on that? Okay, go ahead. All right, go ahead.
That right now.
You were there, yeah.
The meeting in reference, and I'm looking at the speech that this reference was made about Mr. Kangas.